JAL.
The Japan Airlines traveller is different from other travellers because on JAL you can still feel what it means to be an honoured guest. To get the little details right, it takes a great airline. To blend tradition and precision is the art of creating a memorable experience. And JAL does it with the world's largest fleet of 747s, with more flights to all corners of the globe. Japan Airlines.
Oh, I'm so tired. Time to wind down with an egg sando and a strong zero.
ポイントカードはお持ちですか？袋はいりますか？
Don't be like our boy Gazza. Be prepared next time you're in Japan and use a translation app. Get Wi-Fi coverage across Japan, eSIM and mini router rental with Ninja Wi-Fi. Trusted by 21 million customers worldwide, Ninja Wi-Fi provides great service for an affordable price. Visit ninjawifi.com and use the code GAL for 20% off.
この番組はグランドスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Hey guys, and welcome to another week of Umai, the travel and food podcast, where we talk about travel and food, especially our recent Japan trip. Big shout out to our lovely friends at Japan Airlines and Marriott Bonvoy for sort of making this trip possible and actually making it one of the best trips of our lives.
Now on, I feel like my life is not complete unless I go to Japan every year.
Yeah, it's just, that's what it is. There's such a beauty with Japan. Of course, just a reminder, we went to Japan via Japan Airlines. We stayed at the Marriott in Honmachi, and we stayed in Osaka. We went to Kobe and Kyoto as well, as I think we just got to experience a lot of other things. So in this mini series on Umai, we're going to be discussing our Japan trip, the activities we did, and just Japan and the amazing culture in general. So stick around for that. Remember also, you can listen to this podcast anywhere where you can find your podcasts on Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, YouTube, as well as Apple Podcasts. So let's get into it. Georgina, what were you going to talk about today?
I think we're going to talk about konbinis and
Konbinis,
supermarkets.
yes, konbinis. Konbinis are just a very exceptional thing in Japan. It's basically a corner shop. That's the easiest way to describe it, right?
It's not a corner shop.
It's a bodega.
It is like, because when you think of corner shops here, you think of a Lundy's or a Budgeons, and it's like, no, it's like 10 times better than that.
But that's what a convenience store is, or in Japan they call it konbini, right? Because it's short.
I think I would maybe compare it more to like a little Tesco's.
Or like a Tesco Express.
Yeah, like one of those supermarket express.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's like higher level than a corner shop. It's more than a corner shop.
I'll give you that. Let's say it's a Tesco Express.
Or an M&S on the food on the go, or
no,
food on the move.
we won't say so.
Okay, maybe not, I don't know.
It's like a Tesco Express, but it's a lot better than a Tesco Express.
Oh, so better.
So let's talk about it, because there is a lot of different ones and a lot of different choices that you can go to in Japan, and it varies depending on region. But we'll talk about the main ones today, which is 7-Eleven, Lawson, Family Mart. And there was another one, wasn't it?
Life.
Life is a supermarket.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about...
I don't think there was another one that we went to. I think there's other ones in Japan in general.
But I think those were the main three.
They were the main three, the big three as they call it. So we're going to discuss that today. We mentioned that where we were staying in Honmachi, there is a lot of konbinis.
Oh, like literally everywhere you go. Like we kept, for the first couple of days, we kept going to one that was like a 5-minute walk, but eventually we found about like 2 or 3 more like right behind our hotel or next to our hotel.
Correct.
That we never knew existed, which was less than a 1-minute walk.
Correct. And it was right next to Saizeriya. Which we were going to do an episode on Saizeriya. I think we'll do an episode on Saizeriya.
It's like, I think we were like 3 days into the trip and we were just walking up the road like next to Saizeriya, and they were like, Bish, did you notice there is a 7-Eleven? I think it was one of the 3. If it
was
wasn't.
a 7-Eleven.
We're like, did you know there's literally a 7-Eleven next to our hotel? Like we've been walking down the road like 5 minutes. Not that was an issue. It's still very short distance, but it was like, there was one journey, next to us. And then we were walking behind the hotel where there's an izakaya. We're like, there's another one here as well. And then we came out of the station, like, there's another one. Like, it's everywhere. Like,
so near the hotel that we're staying at, we were staying at the Courtyard by Marriott in Honmachi. there isn't that many Lawsons unless you go further down. But we'll talk about
which is
Lawson in a
literally
bit.
still like a 5-minute walk.
Exactly. It's still like a 5-minute walk, but it was mostly 7-Elevens and a few Family Marts. So the reason that we went to
No. There was more Lawsons than there was Family Marts.
the Lawsons were further down.
Yeah.
In a different area, in a slightly different part of Honmachi. Anyway, so where we were going in, and the reason we wanted to do Konbinis is because we saw a lot of videos online in which, you got to try the egg sando and you got to try this and we got to try that. So we did that. We tried everything so that you don't need to unless you want to. But the beauty of the Konbinis is that it's pure convenience. Like everything in the Konbinis were just great, right? Like you can buy alcohol in the Konbinis. You can buy strong zeros. You can buy ice creams,
Pastries,
snacks, pastries. You can get hot dogs. You can get anything, right? It's not like gross or anything like that. Everything is just high standard. But I guess because the food in Japan is already at a high standard, you can also get like basic groceries. Like if you needed eggs or something, you can buy that
I'm going
as
to be
well.
honest with you. When you're in the UK, you wouldn't go and buy a sandwich from a corner shop. That's very strange behavior. Like, even though they said it, no one would ever buy a sandwich from a corner shop. But the Konbinis were built for that.
Exactly.
And it tastes amazing.
And it tasted amazing, and we'll kind of discuss that a little bit. So the first one we went to was 7-Eleven because
I got gassed. I saw 7-Eleven. I was like, I have to try it.
everyone talks about 7-Eleven. If you live in America, 7-Eleven is often kind of associated with gas stations and stuff like that. So it's a very different experience at 7-Eleven. And we kind of went through and tried all of the different sandwiches. And I'm going to say a hot take. I was not a fan of the egg sando from 7-Eleven. I think Family Mart.
I liked it. To be fair, I liked all of them.
Okay, it was still an enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt that the 7-Eleven one, there wasn't much substance to it. Like Lawson had a better one.
I liked the 7-Eleven one because it was like the egg sandwich was almost like an eggy kind of creamy paste. Like it was so finely done. I liked it.
True, but like I said, I kind of feel that you got more flavor. It tasted mostly of mayonnaise. I kind of prefer that you get more flavor from a place like Lawson, right?
Okay,
So,
fair enough.
like for me, in terms of Konbini experience, I think Lawson is good for the sandwiches. I know a lot of people will kind of swear by 7-Eleven and say 7-Eleven sandwiches are the best and da-da-da-da-da.
Well, I think they were good.
They were still good, but I think for the same price that you're paying, especially if there's multiple convenience stores around you, I would always kind of go to Lawson because when you go into a Lawson, it feels so different, right? It's just like, it feels bougie.
Can I just say, what I really loved about Japan that felt so calming is I can hear it the way it sounds in my head when you walk into the shop and you hear like a little dingle in the like I can hear the calming music or the little jingle, a dingle or something like that. I can hear it, and I feel like on days where I'm having a rough day in the UK, I remember those memories, I remember that sound, and it just brings a calming effect to me.
You put on the YouTube like Japan sounds and just I do that sometimes with the train sounds.
It brings you back to simpler and calmer time. Like
100%.
I can't explain to you. I actually miss that sound.
One thing that I do like about 7-Eleven is 7-Eleven has a great selection of alcohol and drinks in general. I think ice creams. Yes, that's one thing. The ice creams in 7-Eleven.
Not just that, in all the Konbinis. The ice creams in any Konbini.
Yeah, but I think you get more of a section in 7-Eleven. And I think also the lovely thing about 7-Eleven is the fact that you can actually top up your Suica card. Or like if you're using a Suica,
or you can pay with your Suica card. Yeah,
you can pay in any Konbini. I think a lot of chain restaurants as well. You can pay with your Suica or Pasmo. I don't think we had a Suica card. What was our one called?
An ICOA. ICOA.
Yes,
I can't pronounce it.
Yeah, ICOCA.
Yeah, ICOA.
ICOA.
No.
Ikoka, I think.
I don't know.
I think ICOCA. ICOCA? Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah.
So,
it had a penguin on it, didn't it?
No.
No?
It kind of, no, it was a duck. I think it's like a platypus or a duck.
I don't
or
know what it was. It was blue and silver and it had like something on it.
The Suica card is
is that the
the
penguin
penguin
card?
one. Yeah, but in Japan, I believe.
I actually kept it.
Yeah, you can keep it. You can return it if you want.
But I kept it for the memes.
I kept mine back. But the first thing I did was when I got the IC card was I put it on my iPhone because it was just so much easier just to tap in and tap out and just not worry about things. And I didn't want to carry this card around with me. And a lovely thing about the IC card is that if you have it on an iPhone, which is, I didn't know this, you could go into your iPhone settings, and if you click on your IC card of choice, and you can do this for many countries, not just Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, a lot of other countries do this as well. I'm surprised they don't do this for the UK, but basically you can create an account for the IC card and it can track where you're going. So let's say it will remember like all the different transactions that you did.
Oh, wow.
So like, for example, if I go into the IC, I don't think you'll remember it now because it's been such a long time. So yeah, you can go into your Apple Wallet and it will say to you your balance. You can add money directly. So that's something like if you know that you're going to Japan and you want to prepare your like IC cards ready so that the moment that you land in Japan, you can use your IC card. Bear in mind, there is a maximum limit that you can put on an IC card. I believe it's 20,000 yen at a time, which is more than enough.
Yeah, 100%. I think the travel was like basically traveling between Osaka. I think the maximum I spent was basically like 580 yen per journey.
Yeah, which I think that was when we were going in and out of like Osaka.
Yeah, like that was throughout Osaka. But like I think the maximum I spent was like 2,000 yen when we went in and out of Osaka. Like it wasn't that expensive.
The average sort of thing, and this is something that we were doing, right, where we were topping up as needed.
Yeah, which was fantastic. Like I feel like the maximum that you needed, like I think 2,000 yen lasted us about maybe 2-3 days.
Yeah, definitely. And there are sort of IC cards that are meant for foreigners and things like that, but we didn't know where to go to get them. I believe it was like the main Osaka train station and things like that, but it was just a lot easier just to do everything on the phones or things like that. And the lovely thing about the IC card is that you can top up at a 7-Eleven using the ATM machine, which was just so easy, right? It does make it a little bit more difficult if you're using your card and you want to top up with cash. Like if you're using your phone to use your IC and stuff, because not everywhere has a 7 bank or 7-Eleven bank as they call it. So you can't use the actual machines in the train station. You have to find a 7-Eleven bank machine to do, which to be fair with you, there was a lot of train stations that did have that. So yeah, generally a train charge was 230 yen, which is incredibly cheap.
So cheap. I think that was from like here to, how do you pronounce it? Umeda.
Let me see actually, because it on the iPhone, it just tells me every one of these transactions, like from Honmachi. So from Honmachi station to Umeda cost 190 yen.
Wow, not even like 260.
Like that's nothing.
Insane.
And you know, and that was a lovely thing about staying where we were staying. We
I
were
quite
very
liked Honmachi because it was like central to everything. It was like central to everything. It was so quick to get to Osaka Castle. It was so quick to get to
yeah.
Umeda.
It was like 2 stops to Osaka Castle.
It was so quick to get to Dotonbori. Like it was in the heart of. It was literally in the heart of everything.
And that's the thing. If you wanted to walk to these locations, you can.
It'd probably be like a 25-minute walk maximum.
No, not
everywhere.
Really. Dotonbori
but like, yeah.
was like 15 minutes.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Osaka Castle to walk there is a bit more difficult. If you're more active, it could take you 15 minutes. It took me about half an hour because there was hills and a lot of stairs and stuff. But in general, in Honmachi, it's walking distance to a lot of places. Probably you won't be able to walk to Umeda. You could try. It might take you an hour, but it's a lot easier taking the Osaka Metro.
Like literally, the majority of places we went with the trains was like 2-3 stops away from us.
Yeah.
It was insane. Absolutely insane. So fantastic. I would stay in Honmachi again, 100%.
Yeah. So in regards to konbinis and stuff like that, you find them everywhere. They're not just in Honmachi. They're literally on every street corner. So if you ever need to top up anything, or if you ever needed anything for any sort of reason, if you need alcohol, you can buy them at konbini.
Or if you just want like a snack, because like fair enough, like we had breakfast in other places, but sometimes when you know that you have to get up early, for example, I can't remember where we had to get up early for, but like
Kyoto.
For Kyoto, yeah. So like we brought breakfast from the Konbinis the night before, and it was like, you know, nice bakery stuff or like sandwiches and like juice cartons, which are just, I love how in the Konbinis, like you can buy the massive standard juice cartons from like Life, but then like in the Konbinis you can buy like 1 serving and it comes with a straw. It's like so cute. But like, or even if you just wanted late night snacks.
Yeah.
There were like, I feel like the best thing about Japan is like I mean, I don't understand. We ate so much in Japan, but the food quality is so high that, and don't get me wrong, we did a lot of walking, but the food quality is so high in Japan that along with the amount of walking we did, we actually lost weight. And I'm pretty sure we ate like pigs.
Yeah, we ate quite a lot in Japan. I think even in terms of like the konbini.
We had 3 meals, dessert, a snack, and several snacks. It was insane. And we still lost weight.
Yeah.
A lot of weight.
So in regards to konbinis, I do think each one has its strengths and its weaknesses. Obviously, every one of these konbinis have multiple locations. And a lot of the times you will find a 7-Eleven right next to another 7-Eleven, right? So each konbini has its own strengths and weaknesses in terms of what to get, right? Because some 7-Elevens offer hot food, right?
Yeah.
Like there was one day where I wanted a hot dog and they were like, do you want to heat it up, right? They can do that.
Or I think Lawson does the fried chicken, doesn't it? Family Mart does the family chiki.
Also Lawson do as well. There's so many other ones that have other service. So the most famous one in terms of fried chicken is Family Mart, which they do family chiki. Good. I think the family chiki is so much better than the KFC in Japan.
KFC was good, but there was something about konbini food was also just as good as some of the chains. It was insane.
Yeah, and that was but to be fair with you, I think my personal opinion, I do think that the family chiki is just levels above even KFC in Japan.
But that's the best thing about Japan. Whereas here, at certain supermarkets, the quality is not going to be good. But Japan has the minimum quality in Japan in terms of food is already a very, very high quality. So for example, yes, don't get me wrong, you'll go to expensive supermarkets and that'll be an even higher quality than the konbinis, but the konbinis are already quite high quality in terms of food.
And it's like I said, it's just convenience. They're everywhere. There's even ones at the airport. You can get a lot of other things like melon pan and things like that. It's literally anything that you need for your trip, you can get, right? Even a lot of people, you see videos online where they're like, hey, I want to buy a t-shirt, or I had a stain on my t-shirt. I don't want to go to this shop to get it. Literally, you can go into a Family Mart and pick up socks,
cosmetics in Family Mart as well.
Yeah, you can literally get anything that you need.
What was the one that had the Muji collaboration?
That was Lawson.
Yeah,
so that's what I was saying about
stationery as well.
That's what I was saying about Lawson. So what I love about Lawson is that Lawson is a more upscale version of Family Mart and a more upscale version of the konbinis, right? Mm-hmm. You can even buy games at Lawson. And the reason I say that is because if you've ever played a game like Dynasty Warriors or Dynasty Warriors, if you live in the UK, there's always a Lawson collaboration where if you pre-order at Lawson, you get the Wang Yuanji Lawson costume, right? Or
it's a shame we didn't actually go to Japan when there was a Dynasty Warriors release.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
One year I'll make it happen.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, besides the point. So you can buy a lot of different things at Lawson's. And I think for me, the best konbini is Lawson because the food at Lawson is better. They have a wider selection of sandwiches. There was of course there's tonkatsu sandwich, right? Which is the cutlet.
Yeah. And they even have yakisoba bread as well.
Yakisoba bread, yakisoba pan. They had a lot of ice creams. I do think 7-Eleven has more
variety,
options of ice cream. In terms of sandwiches, let's talk about the little sandwiches that you can get. Egg sando.
And then the ebikatsu sando.
Ebikatsu, I think that was a Lawson one, wasn't it?
I can't remember, but there was ebikatsu, there was pork katsu, there was chicken katsu, and then there was egg sando, not pureed egg, but basically kind of egg mayo. And then there was one where it's egg mayo and then a soft boiled egg.
That was from Lawson.
Inside the sandwich, a jammy soft boiled egg. And that was insane. And then you got the tuna. I actually quite like the tuna sandwiches in Japan.
Was really nice.
So good.
I think in general, we also tried fruit sandwiches as well.
Yeah, a fruit sando from
Family Mart. I think that was from Family Mart.
Can I just say what I find so shocking? The fruit sandwiches, they sell out very quickly.
They do.
I only found it on the last day. It tasted good.
And that's the thing, it's just trying to find these things that is just very hard to do. And the beauty of it is that you're surrounded by so many different konbinis that you could just go in. If you can't find what you want at one, you'll find it in the other. And which konbini would you say is your favorite?
I like Life, even though that's a supermarket.
We'll talk about Life in the moment, but what's your favorite konbini?
My favorite konbini, honestly, all of them were fantastic, but I quite like 7-Eleven because there was a lot more variety there. In terms of ice cream and drinks. Don't get me started. What I really, really love is So like I love coffee. I can't start my day without a coffee. And I just like how there was like a million one options of like iced coffees and juices and drinks and Cokes and sodas and even like strong zeros. I think I like 7-Eleven.
Yeah, 7-Eleven's a good one.
All of them were good though.
100%, all of them were really good. For me personally, I like Family Mart for the hot foods and stuff, but I do prefer Lawson. I think Lawson is just more upscale for me. And it's always like, I don't think you can go wrong with Lawson.
You know, you can't go wrong with any of them, to be fair.
Yeah, that's another thing. I think also the level of service as well. I think that's a very important thing in Japan in general. We're going to mention on another episode, but I just kind of want to briefly mention, we went to a 7-Eleven on our way back from Costco.
Oh, this was the best. This is why I love Japan.
So I had basically forgotten some change, and it was like maybe something like 100 yen.
It was like it was like something that you wouldn't go bat an eye over. Literally, it wasn't that much change.
Yeah, it wasn't. And literally, we went there to buy water because it was like a sweltering hot day.
Yeah.
And literally, I'd come out, bought my water bottle, and the employee came out and she was like, sumimasen. She basically informed us that I left some change.
But we were like halfway out on the road at this point.
We were halfway out. We were crossing on the zebra crossing and the lights were beginning to change. And this woman literally risked her life to give us that 100 yen change. And
like the service was exceptional.
I was like, what's going on here?
The respect.
I didn't get it, but it was like, it was amazing to see. And you wouldn't see that happen anywhere else in the world.
The respect, the service, the willingness and the heart to want to help people. This is what I love about Japan and its people.
And yeah, that was just an amazing experience that we kind of had there. And yeah, let's talk about life.
Oh, so like earlier when I made that joke that life is my favorite, can I just say, as much as I love the Konbinis, every time when I go to Japan now, I would rather go to a supermarket, and Life is one of the best supermarkets I've walked into.
The reason why we went to the supermarket, because I started realizing that, wait a minute, these Konbinis, although the sandwiches are nice,
although it's cheap, the supermarket's even cheaper.
The supermarket's even cheaper. So I was like, wait a minute, we need to just try the supermarket because we're spending a lot of money in the Konbinis and we're eating the same thing every day and we wanted a little bit more variety. So we went to Life, which is not that far from the hotel, and we always kind of went at nighttime. It was kind of weird.
It's like there is something about, you know, when you spent like the whole day doing 30,000 steps, walking, doing shopping, ending the day off with going to like either a Konbini or a supermarket, buying your snacks and bringing it back to the hotel is it was just a perfect end to the day. And like you can go and buy like maybe some alcohol, some snacks, even if you wanted like late night ramen, just get some instant ramen, you know, bring it back to the hotel, go into the onsen and then come back and enjoy that.
And that was the one thing that I did was we went there.
Ice cream every night.
Exactly. We went to ice cream. We went to Life to buy ice cream.
Literally
and
every
there were so many
night.
different flavors of ice
It was like a routine. Like every night we're like, Bish, I need to get an ice cream from like one of the Konbinis or from Life. Like I have to end the day with like an ice cream. Like, and
it was just so nice about it because you go into Life, and one thing that I really love about Japanese supermarkets is everything is just I went in
well organized,
and you know, speaking to a lot of people. You know, Life, I don't think it's a regional chain, but I think it's mainly for the Kansai area. So Kobe, Kyoto, and Osaka and stuff. I think there might be some in other areas as well in Japan, but it is quite a regional supermarket. So we went in. I'm not joking here. I kind of got the vibe of like a Selfridges food court.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Like downstairs, they had the sushi area. They had the sashimi area, they had the meat area, they had the like freshly bakery and the sandwiches area. Like it literally felt like at one point, like obviously like the top half is like, you know, like standard bits and like, and then downstairs is like fresh produce. You walked in and you felt like you were walking into Selfridges like food market. Like it was, or at least a Marks and Spencer's, you know, like M&S in like Marble Arch where they've got the cheese counter and all that.
I think it's better than that.
No, but can I just explain, like, do you know how like you walk into certain like supermarkets in certain areas, like let's just say you walk into like Kensington or you walk into like a Marble Arch in quite an affluent area, they have like these sections dedicated to like charcuterie, to cheese boards, to fresh deli produce and whatnot. Like that's what walking into Life felt like. It was fantastic.
I think it was even more elevated cheap. Like that, and it was very cheap. But bear in mind, we're coming in from British standards.
From pounds to yen, it was very, very cheap.
It was very cheap and affordable, but
and quality.
Bear in mind, obviously, there's a lot of people in Japan. I think there is that sort of wage difference. But besides the point, we went in and we saw like all of the different things. They had like sushi boats and things like that, and like
and
meat.
It looks so good.
Meat for shabu shabu and meat for
vegetables, kimchi, everything.
And fresh kimchi as well if you wanted that. And that was the first floor. There was a second floor in Japan. And bear in mind, when I say first floor, in the UK, we start at ground floor and then the next floor up is known as the first floor. For this intents and purposes, the first floor is the ground floor.
Okay, yeah.
That's how it is in Japan, just so people know.
And I think the second floor was literally like snacks, like basically... how can you... Like ambient section.
Ambient section and juices.
Not just that, and electronics and like home cleaning, beauty.
It basically had everything.
I think it
had
there was pharmacy in there, yeah.
Which we didn't know about. We didn't know that there was a pharmacy there, but the pharmacy closes a lot earlier.
Yeah.
I think there might be some sort of regulations in Japan when the pharmacies can open, because even in when we went to Sugi Pharmacy and we went to Welsia, it was the same thing where the actual pharmacy bit is closed, but then you can buy your other bits anytime.
But do you know what I quite liked about Life? Like, they had a really good like fresh dessert patisserie section.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Fantastic. Like, and there was so much variety as well. Like, it truly felt like a Selfridges food court. And then when you go upstairs, like they had everything under the sun. Like, if you wanted to get like, like the melon pan that you do at home, like the spread that you can put on toast.
I could not find that.
It was there, but it was out of stock. But like, when I say they had everything there that you wanted, like even electronics, like rice cookers, everything. In one place.
I bought mine bento
stationery, stationery, bento boxes, lunch boxes, hair care products, everything under the sun. And all the different kind of snacks and drinks. What I also like really, really enjoyed, like, so every night they usually have like the clearance.
Yes.
And the food, even at full price, is still very, very cheap. But there were times where I was tempted to tell Bish, like, let's just get sushi from here one night and eat that for dinner at the hotel. Like, it was that quality and that cheap, and it used to be on clearance, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, and that was a great thing about it. Obviously, that is kind of referenced in a lot of manga and anime, like one that's called Bento, where it's basically about these kids that literally go to supermarkets at nighttime to get the yellow stickers.
Do you know what I was thinking about? Every day is great at your Junes.
That's basically what it is. Everyday young life, Junes. That's the Japanese version. I love that. Anyway, besides the point, so it was great because anything you needed was there, and it was just so much cheaper. There was like, when you go in for juices, and that's something that I really want to mention. Juices in Japan are very interesting because there are regulations that say you can't advertise certain things. So if they show the physical apple, let's say you're buying apple juice, right? If it's a cartoony looking apple that has a face on it, then know that there's not much apple juice in that. Like, it's very artificial.
They can only show the real picture if
it's 100% juice. So if they slice it in half, so if there's an apple that's sliced in half and it looks realistic, that means it's a 100% juice.
Oh, it's fantastic.
If it's just a whole apple, then it means, okay, then there's part juice and it's mixed with other bits, right? But in general, we were going there, we were looking at like juices that we wouldn't necessarily find in the UK. Like, you can buy pineapple juice, or you can buy like, what was it, like papaya juice. It was like stuff that you don't see.
Yeah, I mean, although we do have pineapple juice here, it's still hit differently in Japan.
Oh yeah,
like,
it's very different. You can actually taste the pineapple.
Yeah, like here you taste sugar. Here you can, in Japan you can actually taste the fruit. So like what we used to do, like, because Marriott Bonvoy gave us like an empty fridge. I don't think they have mini bars, do they?
Depends on which hotel you're going to, but in a lot of the times you can request for the minibar to be emptied to use as a fridge.
So like what we would do is like we would buy like full-size juices, full-size, like, because I love my coffee in the morning. Like I would get, and I especially like the iced coffee and iced green tea, would buy like the full-size bottles, put that in the fridge, as well as like the patisserie desserts and like sandwiches and even meals. Like we had a meal there before, like the ready cooked meals and ramen and whatnot, and we'd put, obviously the ramen wouldn't go in the fridge, but we'd put that in the fridge and we'd enjoy it for later on in the day if we ever felt hungry and everything was
as a
closed.
snack. I think one thing that I really did enjoy as well was I bought Yakult, and the Yakult in Japan, I bought Yakult 1000, and it was like a double-sized thing. But even when you go and buy like drinks similar to Yakult, like prebiotic drinks, you can actually buy like a big bottle of Yakult just to keep in the fridge.
Yeah.
Which you don't get in the UK, and I kind of want to see that more in the UK.
Yeah.
And one thing that I do love is because of drinks like Yakult and things like that, I just want to put this out on the record. I am lactose intolerant and I have IBS. Not once.
Not once did you have a flare up.
I did not have
food
an
in
IBS
Japan
flare-up.
is that quality.
And I am lactose intolerant, which means I can't eat dairy and I can't eat cheese. But I was able to eat dairy and eat cheese without lactate. Like, it was kind of weird like that.
Like, that's how high quality the food is in Japan. Like, and I would really recommend, like, if you don't stay in a hotel in Japan and like in a apartment instead, head over to these supermarkets and buy the fresh produce. Because that's one thing I wish we tried, but obviously we don't have like a cooker or anything available.
We did try the fresh produce at Costco, which we'll do in a future episode.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But what I mean is, like, if I had like a cooker, like there was certain kinds of meats where I thought to myself, like, if we had an oven or like a stovetop, it would be nice and really interesting to go and cook an actual meal using the ingredients from the supermarket.
That's
because it looked very fresh and quality.
And that's something that I want to end the episode off on. If you are looking into Japan and you are looking into staying in Japan and you maybe don't want the hotel experience, but you do want an apartment experience, you can book directly through Marriott Bonvoy and actually book apartments as well.
Yeah, we had a look at a few of them and they even look fantastic as well.
And they do come with laundry service and they have like cleaning services and stuff like that. So if you don't want to go for a hotel and you want to experience Japan and still have the sort of freedom of cooking for yourself and things like that, then book your apartment stay through Marriott Bonvoy.
And I think some of them even have hot tubs available, so you're not missing out on your private onsen that you would have in the Marriott Bonvoy hotel.
We spoke about Konbinis and we spoke about life and things like that.
Costco.
For a dedicated episode, because we went Costco twice, we're going to have that on a dedicated episode next week. So we'll see you guys next week for our Costco episode.